Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, January 19th, 2024. I'm here with Tim Moody. He's the CEO of Pan Global Mining, a company that I follow on newsletter and own. Pan Global has been working for 2 or 3 years now on a project in Spain called Escacena. They made a discovery at Escacena that they call La Romana. They put quite a few holes into that now. We'll probably see a resource on that sometime later this year. But on top of that, and as interestingly, and maybe more interestingly for those that are new to the story, they're still doing exploration drilling. They've been drilling another target called Cañada Honda to the north of La Romana. I really like that target a lot. The early holes look really good, and it's very interesting because it's gold enriched VMS there, which I don't think there's that much of in the part of the Iberian Pyrite Belt they're in, but for whatever reason, this particular target has it. And there's other targets behind that will get tested later this year. Do you want to talk to us a little bit, Tim, about, say, either one of the targets, but I mean, the drill right now is at Cañada Honda, right?
Yeah, that's right. We started 2 follow-up programs at La Romana and Cañada Honda late last year, a 30-hole program at La Romana. We've just reported the last 9 holes from that. We have another 10 holes to complete on that, to continue to try and delineate that western extension,
right,
or show that it continues. So
right.
we keep drilling that. But then the other one is targeted as Cañada Honda, as you said, and we've completed 8 holes. We just reported the first drill hole from a 11-hole step-out sort of follow-up program at that target, and we put out some pretty good numbers the other day. So for me, that's really quite an exciting target. The copper gold association on its own is pretty interesting, and so we're seeing some pretty interesting gold numbers on that, which are not that normal in the Pyrite Belt. Gold's not unknown, but seeing at those levels is sort of...
I remember there being a couple of zones at Neves Corvo that had gold numbers. But I mean, one thing to understand, the Iberian Pyrite Belt is kind of the galactic center of what's called VMS style mineralization. It's a very famous mineralized belt. It's generated a lot of mines. Those of you that are familiar with RTZ, the company used to be called Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto started 10 kilometers, give or take, to the northwest of Tim's property at the Rio Tinto mine, which is one of the world's biggest VMS. And there are 2 or 3 mines at or going into production, like all around you. And I don't think any of those really have any gold numbers to speak of, right? I mean,
yeah, there's a bit of gold at Aznalcóllar.
Okay.
Not clear how much, maybe half a gram in some places, but
right.
Just seeing sort of 2 or 3 grams like we're getting in 5 grams, and we're even getting up to 10 grams in some of the drilling. So
and there seems to be a lot of, some of the holes drilled last year. Yeah, there's gold with the copper and the VMS zones, but you also have all these sort of veins or whatever in the hanging wall.
Yeah.
There just seems to be a lot of it there for some reason, and I like that a lot. I mean, people react to gold numbers. Gold copper combination is a really nice combination. Tim's team they've done some met work on La Romana, which is the earlier discovery they're drilling out. The met's really good there. I got no reason to assume it's going to be any worse at Cañada Honda. But you got a lot of target there too. I mean, all your drilling's going to be at one end of this really big target.
And even it looks like it's all concentrated, but actually those drill holes are quite far apart. We've got holes 150, 180 meters apart. So it's still very, very early days. It just gives you an idea. The size of the overall target is huge.
Yeah.
So, but look, we're pretty encouraged by that. Obviously, for 2 reasons. One, it's the discovery of mineralisation at Cañada Honda is just a further confirmation of this whole cluster concept. So, we've been saying there's all these different targets. The idea you find one, you'll find another. Well, now we've just shown that can be done, and we've got all these others here. Now, prospect of finding another is pretty good, so that's one. The other thing. Second was our concept at Cañada Honda the geological concept was to find potentially massive sulphide VMS style mineralisation beneath a thrust fault, with older rocks sticking out the top. And our analogy was with the Sotiel and Nagoyas mine, that Sandfire are mining. That's 100 million tonne massive sulphide deposit made up of sort of 3 and 4 different lenses. That's very interesting because now we've confirmed that that's exactly the setting we've got.
Right.
What's also, I guess, similar to Sodium Magois is at Sodium Magois they have some stockwork mineralisation in the hanging wall, in the older rocks.
Okay.
We're seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
With this, in our case, we're seeing gold.
Right.
So, I think that's a little unusual for the Pyrite Belt.
Yeah.
And we'll take that as being a sort of positive indicator of a strong system here. And, it opens up 2 possibilities. One, we've got a gold-only target. We've also got a copper-gold target.
Right.
Also, we've got both open pit and underground potential.
Yeah, and it's a big target. I mean,
Big target.
Canada Honda it's a 2-kilometer long target. Just the gravity anomaly, and certainly historically with the drilling you guys have done, when you get onto one of these mineralized zones, the gravity matters. I mean, the gravity is a real deal. It's not some ghost anomaly. It's the mineralization, and you got 2 kilometers to go to the west before you run out of gravity anomaly. And on top of that, of course, you're still, like you said, you're still expanding La Romana. La Romana, I think, is 1.4 kilometers of strike. You got to drill down to 300 meters depth.
Yeah, something like that.
Still open to the west, and they just put some pretty good holes at the western end, and it's still open. So that's going to be a fairly significant resource, and you think late this year or something, I guess, give or take.
Yeah. Firstly, we want to see where the limits of the deposit are.
Yeah.
So we delineate that. We might also just sort of see how Cañada Honda develops as well and put the two together, because to have something that would say compare with the other big mines around the place, we're going to need sort of 2 or 3 of these deposits in a cluster, like the others. So I think we'll just see how the exploration evolves, but we're certainly getting close to putting out a resource at La Romana.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense to me. I've never been one of these guys that pounds the table looking for a resource. I mean, if you're growing a zone, just keep growing the zone. And Canada Honda, I think is the market really hasn't caught on to it yet, but I think it's a very, very exciting target. They've already generated some good intercepts. It's very large. It's got gold endowment. It's got high copper grades and spots. I mean, I think that's a zone that could really surprise people. And I mean, that happened on La Romana. I mean, the market just didn't really pay attention, and suddenly you guys are pulling these copper intercepts at La Romana, and the market's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, this is a real thing. I mean, I think you could get a repeat of that at Cañada Honda, and then I know you've got 2 or 3 or 4 other ones sort of in the pipeline that you'll probably get to later in the year, I guess.
Well, that's the hope, yeah. So we're going to be, we've designed a plan and budget to take us right through to 2025.
Right.
It's been a tough market, so we've been extra judicious about it. Every metre we drill, where we drill it, every dollar counts. So we'll just proceed with the one drill rig for the time being.
Yeah.
We've got a 3,000 or 4,000 metres drill program that we're executing on now, and we'll see how the market develops through the year, and then see if we'd like to get back to drilling the 2 or 3 drill rigs and start drilling all these other targets we've got.
Yeah. No, that would be good. Okay, Pan Global Resources, PGZ on the venture. Very exciting and successful. Like I said, they've already got 2 discoveries, so the exploration's working. Middle of the Iberian Pyrite Belt in Spain, great address. Don't be scared off by the Spain thing. This is a mining region. There are mines all around it. This is an area that actually has a very good history when it comes to permitting. Stuff does get permitted in this part of the world, and they're growing one discovery, and they've just got a second one, and I think their odds of having 1 or 2 more on this property before they're over are actually pretty good. VMS show up in clusters, and they've got a whole bunch of targets to work with. Great story, really strong management team, great project. Pan Global Resources, PGZ on the venture. Thanks for coming by, Tim, and giving us the update.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.